Okay. Hi, I'm April from wildflowersandwhimsy.com, and all of this information you can find on my blog, written out and pictures and everything. But I got a few requests for a video tutorial, so I'm gonna try it. The first thing I want to show you is the elastic that you're gonna use, and hopefully you can see this. Okay, this is what I like to use. This is 3/8 inch elastic. You want to make sure that you're using a non-roll elastic. You can see, I don't know if it's going to come across in the video, but I mean, if you feel it, the difference in a regular woven elastic or a knit elastic or a non-roll, it's right now I'm like pushing on it as hard as I can, and you can see it's not going to bend. This one will bend pretty easily, squished together. I like to use, like I said, the 3/8 inch elastic because you can get smaller little knots, and it makes your tutu fluffier, and it just, to me, the waistband looks nicer with the smaller knots. It doesn't look as obvious that they're like tied on there. 1/2 inch is probably what you'll be able to find the easiest. The 1/2 inch and the 3/4 inch. Really don't recommend using the 3/4 inch because it's just it makes your knot's really big. It's obvious that it's tied on, and I just don't think it looks very nice, and your tutu comes out not really fluffy. So I would stick to either the 3/8 or the 1/2 inch elastic. Probably a better way to go. It's going to cause you a lot less headache. But I mean, it's whatever you most want to do. I wrapped this up in a box just to kind of give you an idea, as if it was coming off of the bolt. This is the folded edge, and this is the edge that you would separate over here. This is the self edge. So basically what you're going to want to do when you cut the fabric off of the bolt is I like to line my folded edge up along my zero line just to get it smooth, just to get a smooth edge. And this is the way that you're going to cut your length, the way that you would unroll it from the bolt. So I'm cutting my strips for my tutu to 29 inches. I'm going to use my ruler to just get an even edge over here. Start on this end. My ruler is a little too short. But you just want to get your edge to be even. It's not too, it's not too much of an exact science because the tool is very forgiving. So if you can't, don't fuss with it too much. Just in general, a straight edge to work with. And then, like I said, you're gonna cut. This is your fold edge, this is your self edge, and this is the way you want your length to run. So, like I said, I'm cutting my shirt's 29 inches long. I just kind of use my ruler to keep the tool from shifting around. So, 29 inches. And then now this is your length. Once again, this is your fold, and this is your self edge, and this is the length of your strip. So what I like to do is, just to make it easier to cut, fold it in half. So that from cut edge to cut edge, match them up, and line it up. Here's my folded edge, and here is my self edge. Once again, fold, self edge. So for the first one, you only want your strips to be about 6 inches wide. So for the first one, since it's the fold edge, I always cut it only 3. Mess that one up a little bit. Okay, cut it to 3. Then the 9 you want to go for the first one, like I said, because it's doubled over. This is on a fold. You're only going to cut 3 because when you open it out, it'll be 6. And then from the 3, you go 6 more, so it's 9, then 15, 21, 27. I'm sure you can do simple math, but I just want to make sure that I'm clear. Okay. When you get to the self edge, if it's a little bit shorter, don't worry about that. Like I said, the tool is going to be very forgiving, so if it's a little smaller, it doesn't matter. This one just so happens that it ends up being perfect and ending right at a 6-inch strip. I just open them up and stack them like this. Generally, for a tutu, I start out by cutting 4 lengths. Like I did at first, you can see this one. See, once you open it up, it's 6 inches. So anyway, I cut 4 lengths. So I would cut 4 29 inches, then turn it and cut that into 6-inch wide strips. And here's what you're left with. I already started on a tutu right here, and I have some strips that I had cut earlier. Basically, this is a 3/8 inch non-roll elastic, and I think I covered the seam already. Oops, oh well, okay. But basically you just cross it over and do a little zigzag stitch or hand stitch it. I've even seen people staple it. I wouldn't highly recommend that, but I have seen it done. You're going to just take your strip lengthwise and you're going to fold it in half like this, and you're going to do a little slip knot. You just slip it underneath the waistband like this and pull it through that little U shape. Can you see? Hopefully you can see that. And I pinch this. You don't want to pull it on the elastic. You want to pull on the elastic as little as possible, because the more you pull in this elastic, it's going to stretch out, and then it's going to end up being way too big. I did that on my first tutu, and it was a horrible mess. Okay, so like I said, just take your strip and fold it in half. Make sure the ends are as even as possible. And you're going to have a little loop here. Just slide that underneath your waistband like this and feed it through. Feed your tail ends through that little loop and pinch here. Once again, I don't know my camera battery died, so I don't know if it caught it. But like I was saying, you don't want to tighten too much on the elastic, because if you do, it's going to end up stretching your elastic out, and your waistband's going to be way too big. And one thing I forgot to mention, whenever you cut your elastic for your waistband, whatever your waist measurement is, you want to cut it at least a couple inches. I've seen people cut as much as 5 inches off. I don't really think 5 inches is necessary, but if you tie your knots really tight and you stretch it out a lot, then the more you make them, the more you'll kind of see what works best for you. And I've made probably a zillion of these things, so I can just kind of go through them real quick. I can usually get one done in about 30 minutes. The first time I did it, I swore I'd never make another one, because it took me like 2 whole days of working on it to get it done. And then whenever I finished, I had stretched the elastic out so much. It was for my 9-month-old, and by the time I finished, I stretched the elastic out so much that it wouldn't even fit on me. So I had to take it all off and like slide the loops onto a piece of ribbon, and it was such a pain in the butt.